Hello, Guadans! How are you? Are you excited for our science class? Let's discover, experiment, and explore. I am teacher Maria Esmeralda, and welcome to our science class. Good day, Guadans! Our topic for today is all about respiratory system. At the end of the lesson, you were expected to learn the following. Explain the process of respiration and describe the function of each part of respiratory system. What is respiratory system? Respiratory system are also known as human breathing system. It is the network of organs and tissues that help you breathe. It includes your airways, lungs, and blood vessels. The muscles that power your lungs are also part of the respiratory system. These parts work together to move oxygen throughout the body and clean out waste gases like carbon dioxide. Through the use of the respiratory system, the human body obtains oxygen from the air and eliminates carbon dioxide. Breathing or respiration includes two processes. First one is inspiration or inhalation and expiration or exhalation. Inspiration is a process wherein air goes into the lungs. It makes the size of the thoracic cavity increases when the inspiratory muscle, the diaphragm, and the external intercostal muscles located between the ribs contract. Expiration is a process in which expels carbon dioxide from the lungs and decreases the volume of the lungs. The organs of the respiratory system consist of nasal cavity, sinuses, pharynx, larynx, trachea, bronchi, bronchioles, alveoli, lungs, and diaphragm. The human respiratory system. The parts of the respiratory system. We have upper respiratory tract. The first one is nose, parts of the nose, nostrils, nasal cavity, nasal septum, and olfactory bulb. The second one is pharynx. We have three regions of pharynx. First one is nasopharynx, oropharynx, and laryngopharynx. We have lower respiratory tract. First one is larynx, second is trachea, bronchi and bronchioles, and the last one is lungs. Upper respiratory tract, the first one is the nose, the only visible part of the respiratory system. This is where the nasal cavity located and is divided by the nasal septum into right and left parts. It is the passageway of the earth that we can breathe in. The small hair inside your nose that traps dirt and other foreign particles from the air we take in is called cilia. Parts of the nose. The first one is nostrils. This is where the air enters in the nose through its two openings. The second one is nasal cavity. It's the internal part of the nose. It houses the olfactory receptors and is a network of vessels that warms the air. Nasal septum is the space that divides the left-right airways of the nasal cavity. Olfactory bulb. The olfactory bulb is an essential structure in the olfactory system, the system devoted to the sense of smell. The palate, also known as the roof of the mouth, forms a division between the nasal and oral cavities. Upper respiratory tract. Pharynx. Pharynx or throat is a 12 to 14 centimeter long tube that serves as the common passageway of food or air. The epiglottis closes the opening to the larynx to keep the food out of the airway, while the uvula closes up the nasopharynx when swallowing to avoid the food going into the nose, and tonsils protects the body from foreign invaders. Three regions of pharynx. First one is nasopharynx, receives air from the nasal cavity. The second one is oropharynx, common passageway of food that leads to a digestive tract or esophagus. The last one is the laryngopharynx, leads to another respiratory tract. Larynx. The larynx or the voice box plays a role in producing vocalization or speech, provides an open airway for breathing and route air and food into proper channels. It is closed during swallowing and it is open when breathing. Adam's apple or laryngeal prominence is a protuberance or a lump of cartilage that sticks out from the throat and is more prominent in males, developed during puberty. The vocal cords are folds of membrane that vibrates when air is expelled and allows a person to speak. We have trachea. The trachea or windpipe is a 4-inch tract that includes wall made of C-shaped cartilage rings that are open all the time and is located mid-chest. Its function is to get rid of the mucus that contains dust and other particles by coughing and expectoration. We have bronchi and bronchioles. The two tubes that connected to the lungs is called the bronchi, while the smaller tubes of the left and right bronchi branch into the lungs is called bronchioles. The air that passes through the bronchi is already warm, humidified, and most likely free from impurities. Lungs. It is a pair of respiratory organs that located in the chest on either side of the heart in the rib cage and is composed of porous and spongy tissues. Each lung is covered by a membrane or pleura that produce a slippery secretion that allows the lungs to glide over the wall of the thorax during breathing. It is called pleural fluid. The human body has two lungs. The right lung is shorter and wider and consists of 3 lobes, and the left lung is smaller and has 2 lobes. The main function of the lungs is for respiration. This is where the exchange of gases or oxygen and carbon dioxide takes place. This process happens in alveoli. Alveoli is the functional unit of the lungs. Consists of cluster of tiny sacs composed of layers of epithelial tissues. That is why the lungs are soft and spongy because of million cluster of alveoli. To measure the learning that have you gained to this lesson, I want you to answer this following question entitled Practice Makes Perfect. But before we proceed, please listen to the direction first. All you need to do is to unscramble the parts of the respiratory system. Write your answer on your science notebook. First one is this. Second, third, fourth, and fifth. Please answer this. Number 1. What's the answer? That's pharynx. That's correct. Second is trachea. Third is bronchi. Fourth is alveoli. And the last one is larynx. Who got the correct answer? Good job! I hope you enjoyed and learned. See you on our next class. Bye!